And now the problem, of course, is should we use here in the intellect place or or maybe in the thoughts place. I think I'm gonna let these finish and then maybe use unlock more here, but let's take something from here. Maybe max out visual calculus. Oh, so does this mean 11 is max here, but visual calculus it's like 13 max. Let's take this. Oh, you can revert, but just the one I used there. Oh, so I can like just like that move them around. Well, that's interesting. Oh no, it just takes this. It's just the one there. Okay. I thought it can't be that easy to just change them around. Okay, let's see about these 10th people here. Little humanoids. And now I can lower this one. I think, maybe. A pane of eternity has been planted into the snow. 2 poles are holding it up. Barely holding it up. It could fall over any minute. A stronger gust of wind might be enough. What is this? It looks like a makeshift bridge. Adjust his collar against the cool breeze. Could be convenient. Let's push it down. The pane falls into the icy snow with a soft chunk. Cool. So now we can walk over faster. Time to go into the tent. The tent is just tarpaulin fabric covering a pile of stuff. The flap is open. Inside 3 young men, all in forward-looking apparel, reminiscent of the sticker on the padlock, are listening to some new form of music. It's like nothing you've ever heard. One of them looks at you.
Come on, get in and close the flap behind you. The warm stuff's getting out.
Squeezing.
Sorry, we barely have room for one.
You go ahead. I'm too old for this. I'm sure you will feel right at home. I'll keep watch.
Let's talk to this guy first. Andre. We see a youngish man bleaching the tips of his hair with a toothbrush. He puts the toothbrush down and extends his hand in greeting.
Hello, I'm Andre. It's a pleasure to meet you.
You too. There's definitely something futuristic about his hair, aggressively so. You get the sense that this is what the future will look like. Imbecilic. Yes, you should. Yes, should the future ever come, it will look deeply imbecilic, like this guy. His grip is strong, sweaty and warm. He's trying to project and inspire confidence.
This is my posse. Noid.
A young man with earrings looks at you suspiciously.
And Egghead.
Egghead. Okay.
Egg!
The tape player high above his head continues to blast what is probably anodic music.
Together with a Cell Burger, who's out there right now, doing some seriously progressive sonic experimentation, we like to think of ourselves as music venue organisers.
Okay. Why
You
are
see,
you here?
we've been all over Jamrock North, prospecting for real estate to establish a new venue in.
Also for talent.
That
Yeah,
too.
thank you, Egghead. And while there is no shortage of raw, unfettered talent spinning tapes in Jamrock, we've had rotten luck with the real estate part.
Place is a shithole.
I apologise for my friend Noit's potty mouth. I realise this is not how you speak to a police officer. He has authority issues.
Was there something you wanted? Your friend Asel said there was a problem with the church.
Ah, so you've met her. Good. Yeah, it's a matter of occupied ecclesiastical property. I bet you've noticed a derelict hive of narcomania on the coast.
What are you talking
I'm
about?
talking about the church, and I'm not exaggerating. Even a place of spiritual refuge can become a magnet for all sorts of dopeheads and burnouts if left unattended.
Dope heads.
Like these guys, man.
Burnouts.
Well, I'm sad to say, that's exactly what happened. Sad because we were just about to put Martinez on the map with one of the maddest dance clubs in Jamrock. No, strike that, in Revershoal.
Strike that, the word.
Is it?
And sadder yet, because the dopeheads and burnouts holed up in there were the worst kind.
Leans back a little, watching you with a steady, serious gaze, letting you imagine just how bad those dopeheads and burnouts really are. Good, this calls for an opinion. You're an expert in those. Definitely. What kind? The spooky kind. What exactly do you mean by spooky? I was hoping you would be the judge of that, officer. All I can say is their spookiness is the kind that keeps us from restoring this church into a community center, and a place of spiritual refuge. Also, they don't heat or clean the building. Shit's gonna collapse. People just wanna spin tapes without them spooking it up. Place has bad signs. No one can dance like that. Thank you, Egghead. Turns to you, so you're gonna look into it, right? It should be a police matter, getting them out. Whatever spooky stuff they're doing, I'm sure it's not what the ecclesiastes meant their property for. Sure, we'll look into it. Get the task. Help ravers start a nightclub. Sel told me Noid put the padlock on the door. Why? I did ask Noid to install a measure against more drifters wandering in. It's a temporary fix, just something to contain the situation. I had to do it in a hurry, not my best work, but it should hold for a while. I need a key. How long have there some people locked in there? Oh man. Not long, like a week maybe. Okay, that could be bad. How can you be sure they haven't starved to death? I'm super sure they're alive. I mean, come on, at least 90%, maybe 85% sure they are still alive. Somewhere in the ruinous past that led you here, there was something called exams. You may have learned the term involuntary manslaughter there. Do you know what involuntary manslaughter means? Yes, I do. I listen to Channel 8 all the time. I know about crime stuff, and I assure you, officer, this is not what's happening here. I'm at least 80% sure they're alive. Man, the percentage is going down all the time. I mean, come on, most people aren't ever that alive in their entire lives. What does that even mean? I don't know, he pauses, think, what does anything mean really? Oh yeah, he looks at his friend with an expression of profound understanding. Sounds pretty weird, sounds like nonsense. You're right, it is nonsense. Total garbage. I knew you'd see through it. You're one smart cop. I get by, now where was it? Was I with that padlock? He nods attentively, ready to answer the question of one smart cop. Need the key. Of course, no. Give the officer the key. Alright, the speed freak dips into his belt pack and produces a yellow key. He then makes a sudden, cool infused move, tossing it in your direction. Okay, we get a pretty good chance of success here. Yes. You sense the trajectory of the little piece of metal and plastic. The object makes a small ringing sound as it approaches. Just the tiniest chime to your left. Ka-ching. Ka-ching! The key hits your palm. The speed freaks nod to you approvingly. Thanks, man. Right, other questions. Who exactly are these people inside the church? Truth is, I don't really know. None of us do. I don't even know how many there are. All we've seen are glimpses. You haven't even seen them and you want the police involved. We're safe and sorry, anything more you can tell me. Yes, he leans in for emphasis. There's also the machinery. When I first scouted the place back in February, it was abandoned, empty. It took some time getting the crew together, so about 2 weeks ago we came here hoping to set the stuff up. Suddenly there are all these strange machines lying around in there. One of them has wires running into bowls of water. Wires into water. Never seen anything like that. André, tell him about the feeling. Oh, and it felt like there was some thing in there with us, watching us from the dark. Monsters about. Maybe the ghosts from the other quest. No, the other one. And which one? I'm not as in tune with my emotions as you are, Egg. Felt like silence, awful silence. But you haven't physically seen anyone. Not exactly, we've just seen someone who I think is a woman go in and out of the church a couple of times. And we felt someone or something eyeing us inside. But that's kinda it. What was that about something watching you? Like you aren't alone, you know. It wasn't quite human, if you know what I mean. Not human, as in a ghost. Do you know what that means? It was this dark shape climbing upside down along the ceiling, like some kind of crab man. Oh no, horror movies incoming. Crab man? Yeah, you know, the way it was climbing up and around the ceiling like a crab. The other one agrees. It was stalking Asele, exhibiting ambush behavior. Odd crabs are usually marine creatures and not known for climbing walls. Are you sure there was a crabman? Yeah, totally, I mean. I didn't personally see it. Asele was along at that time, but I believe her. If she comes out running and says there's a crab in there, there's a crab in there. So he hasn't even been in there lately. Is she afraid? Is he afraid? You should ask her about it, but be nice. Don't tell her you don't believe in the crab. There probably is no crab man. Don't let them draw into this nonsense. Can you tell more about this machinery? You should talk to Noid about that. I just got a distinct burnout and dope head sign from them. Probably jacked up to some snuff station too. Probably very likely. So how can you be sure they're burnouts and dope heads if you haven't even seen them? Well, honestly, I can't, but I am. This is a below feeble attempt at avoidance. Basically, he's attempting to weaponize idiocy. Well, you can't, but you do. I should have weaponized idiocy to my own repertoire. I don't see a single thing wrong with that argument. I think I see something wrong there. Hey now, he furrows his brow. I'm 70% sure they're substance abusers. Don't let all that technology fool you. He makes little quotation marks with his fingers when he says technology. Where do you think drugs came from? Right, let's talk about something else. Sure, what? You mentioned some kind of ecclesiastes in the church. Who are these ecclesiastes, or however you say that? Oh yeah, that's a meteor name for the founding party. Thought it'd be cool to use it. If you don't know what the founding party is, there might be a way to mask it with minor demagoguery. A lot of fancy words here. Before we go on, what do you mean by meteor? You know of meteo, concerning meteor. Meteor, a country, a mundi. He looks at you, squinting his eyes to see if you're kidding. On the mundi isola. One of the poorest of the first world nations today, but once a great ancient civilization, capital Thylakos by Byzantic. Or the founding party, I do know them, but can you refresh my memory? Come to think of it, I never really looked them up, you know. I can't give you a precise definition, but they are a very powerful religious organization. And they have roots in ancient mass society, he pauses. And they are the custodians of the Pericarnassian church. Plus they anoint the innocents. They like made the Innocentic system know. Doesn't sound like they would appreciate the dance club in their church. They sound like exactly the kind of who loud annoying music in their church. Probably this one. You're totally wrong about that, he shakes his head. Practicing church is about love, Nordic mercy about love. I got love from my practicing posse. Love is the relay. Out of death we dance. Violently shakes the tape players to see if he can break it. Love is hardcore. Unity. Unity. Make some noise from our Insildian posse. He turns the volume up and looks at you with a knowing nod, as if it's obvious you will now break into dance. I don't quite understand what you're talking about. What's a posse? I guess love can be pretty hardcore. I now understand it was lame of me to suggest otherwise. And Nordic music is about love, and so is the Pericarnassian church. No, this is too much. No sane conversation. There's a lot of absurdity in their church. Let's do this number 2. Oh yeah, it can. He's coming around. He nods at his friend, then turns to you with a mischievous grin. You're getting it. They're bosses like your people, man. Like you got your cop posse. You look out for each other and you party together. That's a posse. Posse, or however you say that. And where's your posse, a detective? Nothing comes to you. The world is silent. It sounds like you're just saying random things. Love posse make noise. Are we? He looks at you mysteriously. Yeah, the one with large head really enjoys it when his friend gets mysterious. Okay, we can agree with this. No problem. Yeah, Yekokata, the place to be. Do it for the masses, do it for the crew. His friend forms a fist with a screwdriver still in his hand, approvingly so. I don't know what to say, but it was pretty lame of you to imply otherwise. Anyway, you got more questions? The one with the large head is still looking at you, nodding his head, waiting for your body to start moving. You feel like you could go for a little disco when, or if they get this club going. You got it in you. They got that one tape with some music too. I wanted you to ask about this tent full of equipment. Yes, what? I see you brought your own water. Yeah. Good to have a bitch to carry. When I first scouted the place, I did some reconnaissance. I'm not sure the church even has running water. And it's distilled through. Oh, he doesn't know what to say. It's the one they sell at fuel stations. So probably not good to drink. It's like he's lying to you, my liege. But he's slippery enough that there's nothing for you to grab hold of. What's with all the Nosa fed? The what now? He leans in to hear you better. Point at the bottles of nasal spray in the corner, the Nosaped Ultra. You have a lot of it lying around. The whatever I wanted to know about another thing. Breakthrough in it. Oh wait, was the memory added. Oh, the old Ultra. He's like an actor looking to the souffleur for his line. I have major sinus infection. Stuffy nose, we all do. Shit's all blasted up, winter. Can't even breathe. You sound fine to me. Yes, he nods energetically. That's all Nosafed's doing. Without the Nosa, I'd be drowning in shit right now. Nosafed is the shit. Good, now on to the next thing. Alright, enough of this. He nods enthusiastically. No doubt a little relieved. Logic seeks the godly. Oh no, I do not have that high logic. That's it for now. Be careful in there, officer, and tell us how it goes. Yeah, we'll be here. The thought that's complete, yes. Bringing of the law Joe. It was the law Joe, yes. Okay, so we now know why you have the law Joe. Why you say the law in a weird manner, and why your jaw does that thing. You had polio as a child. You hadn't gotten vaccinated. It must have been right after the revolution. Not a lot of vaccine going around then. So you got infantile paralysis due to polio, and this jaw thing is a complication from that. Admittedly, it's not very funny, but you overcame it. This little infant survived and became a sharpshooting super cop. So, fuck you, polio. Okay. Learning gap for hand-eye coordination raised to 6. Succeed all hand-eye coordination passives. Mean center there, jaw still weird. Succeed all hand and eye coordination passives. That could be good, I guess. Okay. Look into spookers in the church. I'm going to the church next. I picked up this, I think, jacket. Probably this one.
So you had a talk with Andre, and now you want to discuss things with Noid? Good.
Skin shows through the holes in the speed freak's too large sweater. In front of him, an open toolbox full of carpenter tools and parts. So we can speak to these other guys too here.
It's good you talked to Andre first. Gave me time to get a reading on your sign. Can't really talk to people before you get a reading.
He runs his hand through his hair, which is combed back in mock seriousness, and continues to fiddle with some gears. Sign? Yeah, gotta compare, see if we can align. Interesting. I suck at socializing, man. Even now our sign synchronization is way off. But I'll see what I can do. He continues to rearrange his tools. I saw a sticker on the padlock. Can you tell me anything about it? A sticker? You mean the yellow one? Can you describe it to me? Interesting. He wants you to describe it, though he already knows what it looks like. Seems like my creation has found its way into the legal bureaucracy. What did you want to ask about it? What is it supposed to be? A dead guy smiling. Okay. What does it mean? Why is the dead guy smiling? He defeated history. We are living in the age of history, and in the eyes of history we are always already dead. How can we ever smile then? Because history is a lie, and so are its deaths. Okay. Present moments and life are the hardcore. Hardcore expels death. He thinks, or maybe he's not dead, maybe he's just really ecstatic about the beats. What makes a sticker so modern? Simplicity is brought to us by classical, solized modernism. But that was a tasteful, harmonious simplicity, right? Well, hardcore is not tasteful or outwardly harmonious. It's a warning shot. This will be dangerous. The echo of man's loss haunting him. Sticker the clothes, the music, same thing. You come up with this stuff by yourself? No, not alone. Many people are thinking the same thing right now. There's a gathering at the Elysium. The beat is the same for all. I think we exhausted the subject for now. I guess one could write an entire treatise on the theme, but for now. But what for? What about now? Are the signs alright now? Nah, huh. Still strongly out of sync. State gamma. Disalignment. What? He examines the small metal bolts in his hand. You heard me. Tell me about the machines you saw in the church. He cringes. Weird stuff, specialized. There was a data processor and some sort of long-wave machinery. Wires going into water. Gives off a spy sign or some fucked up Samaran science sign. You know, the kind that goes head first into the supernatural. People's Republic of Samar is a product of Revachel's sister revolution on the Garad Isol. It's known as a severely degenerate rogue state. What's wrong with the supernatural? Nothing's wrong with it. It should definitely be researched. You can still do sick shit with it though. The supernatural, so you think it's real, that it actually exists. Proceed. Most of it doesn't exist, but there's also stuff that isn't allowed to exist because the moralists think it's too dangerous for the plebs. In Twitch speak, plebs. Psionic powers, pale-related diseases, pretenders pretending to be human, folk rights, that kind of stuff. Why are you called Noid? He picks up some sort of a widget. The hardcore aesthetic is esoteric. It's not meant to be discussed with the law at the moment. I don't understand what that means. I can see that further sign watching would do good for us. One way to achieve sign synchronity would be by getting us into the church. Okay, I'm working on it. Okay, maybe I'll come back later. Sync the signs with Noid. Yes, I must get him in the church first. Maybe we can still talk to this third guy, I think. The Egghead. What a nice name. A young man with his peroxide blonde hair holds up a Harmon Vovshi tape player, nodding along to the music. He looks at you with a knowing smile and says,
Hardcore! Hardcore!
Still say nothing?
Hardcore to the mega!
Still saying nothing?
Internally coherent! All core! Alright! Yeah!
Let's see how long we can go with the say nothing. The first approaches where large head traces the sublime invisible movement of the music in the very real air of the stuffy tent.
Hardcore! Ah!
He lets out an agonized roar over the feeblish, obviously not too hardcore beat below. So hardcore, let's agree with this guy. So
Is it though?
Is it though? He stops dead in his tracks, tilting his head to the side. It is.
But is it? I mean, really?
But is it? I mean, really. He tilts his head to another side like an owl. I was thinking that too.
I am the mic enforcer. I am the chick's checker. Yeah!
Yeah. Could there have been a right way out of this garden of forking paths, you think? The young man with the tape recorder acknowledges your return. When he looks at you, he squints as though you were the setting sun.
This is hardcore.
Let's try the other options. Easy?
It's hardcore!
You're just gonna keep saying it's hardcore, aren't you?
Skibber danger. I am the rearranger.
Maybe you just can't talk to
Back
this
to
guy.
the heavyweight jam.
So Sherman Taylor and large boy-dare boots. Long-shaped tree sprout on a silver belt.
Hardcore!
Say nothing.
Hardcore!
But is it? I mean, really?
Yeah!
Yeah. This young man adds capital G before the H in his yegs and Uggs. This produces a guttural Gotwaldian accent and makes him sound more animal, more in it. Maybe it's not Gotwaldian, maybe it's Orangesi. Probably an homage to Oranje, where Arno van Eyck is from, judging by his name. Could you be listening to an Arno van Eyck creation right now? So this is the famous Van Eyck I'm hearing.
You know about him?
He moves his mouth, but sound doesn't come out. His eyes are the size of saucers. Look like you rendered him speechless. That's an achievement.
You know Van Eyck?
Yeah, I'm a major Ike head. Your friend Asel mentioned him.
Good.
Good.
The Advent?
Okay, I don't think we're gonna get much more out of that guy. Solve the egghead puzzle. Has to be somewhere to talk to this person. You just haven't found it yet. It's definitely not about science. But if you just try again, find your way out of this maze of things. Okay, so maybe we can talk to him. Test with different options here again.
Close. True, hard, full, car. Hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Y to the E to the A 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 to the G to the H to the hyphen mark.
Okay.
Yeah.
He missed one A. Missed an A there. I yelled mine with 6 A's, so you have to yell with 6 too. He missed an A there, but that's okay. I'm pretty lenient cop.
I'm the hard rhymer, the track attacker, the mic enforcer, the sixth checker. I am the law.
Okay. Let's try different.
True, hard, full, car. Hardcore. Yeah. The
Yeah.
Y to the E to the A. Yeah.
Let's try all the options. Maybe you have to try all the options here before you succeed in this.
It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice.
Sure thing.
True, hard, full, it's hardcore.
I don't know what to say to that.
Skipper D, skipper danger. I am the rearranger.
Okay, so is there ways you can actually...
True, hard,
Finish.
full, car. It's hardcore. Skipper D, skipper D. True, hard, full, hardcore. Hardcore to the mega. Here comes the night.
So we say nothing 3 times and
True,
4
hard,
times.
hardcore. Hardcore to the mega. Internally coherent.
I was wondering if you knew who killed the mercenary hanging behind the whirling in rags hostel.
Good morning, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yeko Kata, the place to be.
I'm beginning to think this really doesn't have anything to do with the case. You said that before. Why is this Yekokata the place to be? What does that mean?
Yeko Kata, the hardcore place.
Yekokata is hardcore. An intricate system of irrigation networks, pockmarking dirt, intermittent seas of phosphorus mud, ripped tarpaulin fluttering in the wind. A pair of molten rubber boots also comes to mind. All in all, a truly hardcore place. Okay, so now we try it again.
True, hard, hardcore. Hardcore to the mega. Internally coherent.
This
Good morning,
guy.
yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yeko Kata, the place to be. It's the message, so listen and you will see. No illusion, the spirit is what you feel. True, hardcore. Hardcore to the mega. Internally coherent. All core. All right. Yeah.
Please tell me, what exactly are you doing?
Gotta get the people going.
Why?
I'm the party boy. It's my job.
What is the point?
Hardcore party 25/7 beyond the winter's orbit style.
There is a place far away in Gotland beyond a certain latitude known as Winter's Orbit, where there are 25 hours in a day. It's a tremendously cold place, abandoned to drunks and failed rock stars, full of eternal depression and half-finished ski flying hills. The Suru live there. Okay.
True.
See, we still have
Hardcore.
some
Hardcore is internally coherent. All
options
core.
here.
All right. Yeah. Hardcore. Ah.
No, but seriously, I'm a little worried.
The question is, what is the question?
The question is, what is the question? Answer the
Let's say there's
question.
no question.
Okay.
True. Hardcore. Hardcore is internally coherent. All core. All right. Yeah. Hardcore. Ah.
question is, what
Be
is
good
the
if you had
question?
asked a question, but I didn't. Now it's just idiotic.
But there was a question.
Okay, I'm gonna leave this guy for now. And maybe come back later and try to crack that. Yeah, to the church we go. Straight into the front door. Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height, stand shut in front of you. The rectangular sea-worn ornamentation appears, in stark contrast to the padlock carelessly drilled into the wood. Open the padlock with the key. Lock turns easily. You hear a click as the shackle pops open. Let's go, the lieutenant nods at you. Pull on the doors. A great whoosh of air rushes into the dark inners of the church, as though rushing to fill a great vacuum in the heart of the city. Okay, it's a big ass church. A strange stillness fills you as you look ahead. You should walk here, not run. This grotesque wooden figure looks half finished. This figure was added later, it's not part of the original church. More of the forked lightning pattern you saw outside. Bark beetles. You know, it looks intentional. Some long forgotten style. Yeah, bark beetles. There's a bad guys in the forest. Kill all the trees. The blackboard is filled with complex equations. They look recent. Something to do with radio's frequencies. Two decks of reel-to-reel tapes spinning on empty. A portable Harman Wolfsheet tape recorder. Is it possible it's recording something? Someone's siphoning electrical currents from outside into this antenna. The antenna Reed Esker AR1 is buzzing with energy. Okay, let's first check out the other places and then figure out what we're gonna do with that thing. Why can't I read this? Must I go down? A spider spun its web around this wood carved pillar. Cracked pane of glass, colorful. Frost has drawn flowers on the glass, obscuring the view. Figure drawn in frost on the window, depicting a deer. Mesk banger's silk scarf, paint threshold +1. Do I have a scarf on right now? Neck. Horrific necktie. Maybe these are better. Pain threshold +1. I look dumb, that's for sure. Silence in this part of the church, it's almost palpable. All the shifting matter and shuffling of living things is gone. Nothing seems to exist beyond the church anymore. Maybe if you were to stand in just the right spot, even your footsteps would be completely silent. Wait, I think I still hear something. And then it's gone, almost all of it, but for the faintest of hums. It seems that sound here is detached from its source somehow, if not blotted out outright. Truly unusual. You can hardly hear your own breathing. This seems to be a pretty freaky spot then. Stop your feet and clap your hands. You produce a few muffled thumps, after which the silence feels even more total somehow. Yell as loud as you can. Your voice is barely audible. Not the howl, but the softest of whimpers. Turn to Kim, what's happening? The lieutenant points his ears and shakes his head, then he leans closer. Can you hear anything? Almost nothing, and it's beginning to worry me. The church has strange acoustics, some engineering trick. Maybe the church was designed in this way to prevent boisterous activity, singing and dancing on its premises. Whatever it is, it's definitely real. Something odd is happening around us. The lieutenant doesn't reply, but you can sense him tense up next to you. Look up into the bell tower. The orderly rows of ceiling panels become barely visible, then disappear completely in the darkness of the tower overhead. Not gonna flip this one. What if I don't want to know what's up there? The silence, the darkness, they enveloped you as in a cocoon. You cannot move anymore. Okay, so we have to try this one. It can't be retried. Okay, here we go. Check failure. Let's see what happens now. Is it game over? Just darkness without end. It makes your head spin. Try to make out something, anything. There's nothing. You're dizzy and disorientated as you see dark and more dark rising. Officer, what are you looking at? He follows your gaze, attempting to see whatever it is that you are seeing. What's the darkness like? Filled with vague shapes of woodwork. The sense of a great height. You know, in the middle of the last century there was a group of Ravacholian painters who famously disdained the use of black. What did they have against black? They wanted to capture that it really felt like to look at the world, to be inside color, to be blinded by early afternoon light glittering on the crests of sea waves. Such an effect is best achieved by using the juxtapositioning of complementary colors, rather than addition of black to create contrast. Maybe I should take up painting, like just be Bob Ross. Sounds complicated. It will likely be easier to explain with a hands-on demonstration, alas. Why only Ravacholian? Ravachol was an overwhelmingly colorful place back then. Maybe most of the world dies here. Can I use this to see through the darkness up there somehow? Let's click on the model here. No, this is just an intellectual musing. In fact, it's probably dangerous to waste time like this. You should stop. Blink. You see something hanging from the rafters, looking straight at you with dark eyes. Hopefully it's not the crab guy. Maybe is it possible to talk to it? Let's save. The bowl is filled with water. A live wire runs directly. Ooh, there's somebody there. Could these wires work as contact microphones? Maybe, but who the hell is this guy? Tiago. Is that a man? Looks more like part of the carpenter of the building came alive and is now studying you intently. The crab man. Hey, who's there? The man leans forward a little, fixing you with steady, unreadable gaze, then speaks.
I bet your alcohol use has made you into a scared little pussy, Holmes. But don't worry, everything's gonna be alright. You've come to the right place.
Yes, to the Mexican guy. That accent is Villalobos, peninsula in Mesk, and a district in Jamrock. There's a sizable contingent of Villalobos-speaking Mesks in Revachol. What are you doing?
I'm here to receive the mother's love. You can't do, Holmes. And when you're ready, she will take your hand and lift you out of the despair at the bottom of the bottle.
This man is obviously a habitual narcotics user. Do we really need to question him?
Hey, and what was that about the bottle again? You haven't even drank that much lately. Lay off it already, sheesh. Yeah, I guess I have a bit of a problem and it's been getting out of hand lately, but I'm a policeman. I need to talk to you about police things. I don't know anything about alcohol use. Oh, hell no.
Estás crudo, eh? I see deep inside you. Your body and spirit are suffering greatly from overindulgence, and you don't even know it.
Great, more patronizing, so original. I'm very in touch with my suffering. How do you know what I'm feeling? I'm actually here on behalf of some young people looking to establish a nightclub.
I know it's hard to admit that you have a problem. I was like you once. Couldn't take an honest look at the damage Elvina was doing to my mind and my spirit.
You know, actually, since we're here, you may want to pay attention to what the ceiling climber is saying.
Sure, why not? For some reason I feel like you have a point there. Who do you think you are? Some crazy guy under the roof? What is this shit? You know, alcohol is central to my identity. If I wouldn't drink, I just wouldn't be me. This is stupid, I don't even know what this is. That's all well and good, but we need to talk about the unlicensed occupation of ecclesiastical property. Fancy words, fancy words. For some reason I feel like a point.
Don't trust me, trust the mother. I'm only the messenger, Holmes.
His voice echoes in the cold air of the church.
This is the church of the Mother of Silence. You are welcome here.
He sways gently on the beams, waiting for you to take it all in. You have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Is he just trying to throw you off your game? Whatever it is, he's quite confident about it. Just look how gracefully he sways. Maybe he's a monkey. This not an act, my liege, saving. Perchance, he had deceived his very self. This man is a zealot. He must be the crab man. Some ravers want to turn this place into a nightclub. Do where other spookeries? Other spooker. Oh, esa vieta mai estudiosa, hilas. Duna Holmes. Vieta is grandma. Wait, so there is another person living in the church and it's Vieta. No, I just call her Viegita because of her clothes. She's actually quite young. He scratches his head, or maybe not that young. Age is just one of the many masks we wear. And you don't know where she is. That's what I said, Holmes. How can you not know that when you both live here? You don't really follow her comings and goings, just see her typing on her computer now and then. We got different interests. So you got nothing else to tell me. How she looks, what she does, who is she? I'm afraid not, Esse. You just have to wait until she comes back, or he shrugs, or search through her radio computer. Some ravers want to turn this place into a nightclub. The ones in the tent outside, right? I see them. Think they're scared of me. Wait, do they have a reason to be scared? No, man. They look pretty funny. And I don't harm no one anymore anyway. So what do you think about the nightclub that is? Why not? They wouldn't bother me none. I'm usually way up there, imbibing. Ain't no music on earth that reaches where I go. Might even be nice to have some company. So now let's ask the burning question. You must be the crab man. Never known myself to be a crab, but if that's the name you got from me, I won't stop you from using it. To be fair, it's really more like a spider. He considers this for a moment. I always thought myself more like a flame, flickering along the rafters and beams. He pauses. It may be that I gotta work on my technique. That's not the only technique he's working on. Look at those carved sculptures. And is that a satchel of tools over there? Wait, did you also carve all those sculptures? Sure am. Whittling wood used to be something I just did to busy my hands. Now I use the same hands in search of something greater than my own restlessness. Alright, let's consider the context and meaning here. I see what you've done there. It's as if these figures are trying to become one with the church, or perhaps with the mother herself. It's all just for mother, man. No need to overthink it. Or overthinking it all the time in this game. What were you before you became a crab man and a wood carver? I was in a gangway, but my memories of that time are fading. Most of them are already gone. So many people losing their memory. Certain portent of doom. No, Esse, it's not like that. Best thing that could happen to you, losing your memory. Maybe. Do you remember your name, sir? Tiago is my name, but those syllables don't mean much to me these days. A name isn't just your identity, but also, so to speak. Your place among your fellows, your place in the world. I ain't got no use for such a place anymore. My name is Harry. Extend your hand for a greeting. Just that the thing, Holmes, none of that matters. He ignores your hand. His limbs are mere shadow below the ceiling. What are you doing here? This is a special place. There's a perforation in the world up there. A way out into nothingness. He nods towards the ceiling. This church was built around it for purposes of veneration. I circle it, nurtured by the silence bestowed by the mother. One of these days I'll be pure enough to drink from it directly. Who is this mother of silence you keep talking about? Oh, that's no simple question, is it? She is one who can't be painted or sculpted. She is a cavity in the dark, beyond sense. She saved me. I couldn't describe her to you. No one can, Holmes, and no one ever will. What will happen once you drink from this perforation? I will be incinerated, but not destroyed. Finally at one with the state of the world before reality began. That sounds a bit like substitution behavior, no? You know a thing or few about that. You sure you just didn't switch one drug for another? It's not like that at all, man. It's just faith and joyful service. Too gleeful, those words. He's lying, not to you, to his very own self. Faith is kind of a drug. He shakes his head. I've heard that before, Way, and I know I can't convince you on the spot, but think, when's the last time you woke up from silent communion with a hangover regretting what you did last night? I think love might have been my drug of choice, and I think I'm still hungover from it. He looks at you gravely. She took you for a good spin, huh? Don't worry, bro. That love is but a drop compared to the ocean of the mother's love. The mother will eat all of you and never spit you out. Sounds not good. Let's agree to disagree. I know it'll take time. Don't sweat it. Are these yours? Show him the scarf and shoes you found lying around. I think they were a long time ago. He looks at the red clothing items you're wearing. I had to shed them like skins to get closer to the center of the silence. You can have them. I don't need them anymore. They look pretty dapper, actually. I still don't understand what you're doing in the church. I'm a seraph, Holmes. I sing the mother's glory. Can you sing for me? Sing for me something. I ain't from no Marietti, if that's what you're thinking. And the song I sing is silent as the mother. Marietti is a mesque style of music and dance commonly seen at all manners of festivities, especially weddings. It's delightfully quaint, owing to its pheasant origins. He lost his cool there for a moment. Seems you hit some nerve. How did you even find this place, this church? Hard to say. I think I did some construction work here. Back when I raised, I still had material worries. Up there I realized what the true purpose of the church was. Been spending a lot of time here ever since. The past is nothing to me now. Way, it didn't belong to me. You've been here a long time. Do you know why the church was abandoned? Police raid a while back, he responds, his voice suddenly flat. Did you witness it? Not really, or at least I don't remember much of it anymore. The mother's love has done its job. That's what's so great about the mother. It lets you forget about everything. Okay then, thanks. Concept possession. Why does art inspire you so much? It does, yes, but what is art? Excellent question. Art is a diverse range of visual, literary, auditory, and performative creativity. It's an expression of imagination and technical skill. Additionally, it is history, criticism, and pure enjoyment. In short, art is the highest form of human communication. Representation, narrative, emotion, and agency intertwined. Would I fit into the art world, I mean? Have you looked in the mirror lately? You have the exact feature of a savage art critic, with that beard and those clothes. Disheveled and prophetic. Perhaps you should try to critique architecture too. Hold on, is architecture also art? Of course not, it's autism, box drawing, masturbation with a ruler and a sextant or whatever they use. You should demean and criticize the genteel institution of architecture while extolling the virtues of the pure arts. Wait, what about music? Is it art? Only the most experimental kind. I guess I've been feeling critical lately. Yes, you seek substance, no vapid representations and reproductions of social mores, as made manifest in stuffy biennials. We're talking real living art here. Become the art cop, half art critic, half cop. All Bob Ross. Wait, but I don't have to be 100% cop to get the case finished and all that. With being so indecisive, what are you going for here? Some kind of indecisive and camp aesthetic now. Strike a bold shape here. Go art or go home. Go. Why not? Okay, 50% art critic is what's needed to free me from rote repetition, so be it. Exactly, it's not only your duty to only catch the criminals of the street, you must also apprehend criminals of the printing press and gallery, the trite and derivative artists and writers of the world. Go ahead and prove savage criticism art cop. The world is yours to rip to pieces and reassemble. Okay, more thoughts. The art cop. Probably not gonna take this, but usually you probably want to take get all the thoughts here, but then which you kind of unlock then, that's a whole other question. Ready to click this machine here. Or can we go in here right now? Stained glass window. In white, silver and apricot faience, the young mother of humanism stands above you. A crack runs across her body. She is impossibly tall, oval-faced and sad. A dark and radiant majesty. This is her innocence dolorous day. Cradle in her arms, a pair of glowing lungs, clear visible from underneath her glowing, flowing dress. You should kneel. Okay. But this other guy's in here. Your knees touch the floor. The floorboards are hard and cold. There you kneel among the snowdrifts, diffuse light falling on your hands from beyond the glass. Close your eyes first. The world is silent, but for the creaks and cracks of the massive wooden structure behind you, it covers you from the wind outside. The woman looks down at you kneeling. She towers among her followers, architects, laymen, courtiers. There is a sad smile on her lips and a glint in her green-blue eye. Of what? Compassion? Remorse? She acknowledges the passing of someone who is still alive. As that terrible word passes through your mind, the lieutenant draws an X-shaped cross from shoulder to shoulder. Do the same as you get up. Fingertips touch your chest 4 times. Then you rise from your knees into an apricot-colored light of the window. Above you, the woman still smiles her distant smile, sundered by the crack in the glass. This is Dollar's day. The old woman in the village was right. He looks around. This must be the Dolorian Church of Humanity in Martinez, or the small Pinewood Church in some records. You knew of the place. It's a minor landmark, not easy to find. Most maps misplace it. He lowers his voice. It was built not long after Repachov's founding, 300 or so years ago by first-generation settlers. On the coast of an uninhabited archipelago, where only animals had roamed before, in the wild reeds. Okie dokie. What else do you know? There used to be 7 state churches on the coast. Les Sept Soeurs, they call them, the 7 sisters. Only one remains. The rest were burnt in the revolution, or used for building materials. We should be respectful here, although the building appears to be deserted. I do not believe we'll find anything connected to the lynching here. Something else, perhaps. He looks at the machinery lying around. Respectful is the lieutenant a follower of Dolorianism. Kim, are you a follower of Dolorianism? Yes, we all are. Her name, body and rule are synonymous with humanism. The laws we enforce are Dolorian in origin. I didn't think you were spiritual. It's not spiritual, it's constitutional. The Dolorian system does not demand faith, only accordance. Pretty good chance in both. How did I know this is the mother of humanism? Reconstruct the cracked glass. Let's take this. 97%. Almost always gonna succeed. A jigsaw of broken shards falls into place in front of you. It goes to reconstruction of the stained glass window. Before it was shattered, there was an older woman beneath the younger one, and a text, a leitmotiv below them both. What shattered this mosaic? Unknown. A motor carriage, a gunshot, someone falling into it, or maybe just hooligans looking for something to break. Who is this older woman? The escutcheon on her throne says Irene the Navigator. She is depicted as an older woman wearing thick-rimmed eyeglasses, holding a golden Reish Sapphel in one hand and a scepter in the other. This is the queen her innocence day advised. Above, she herself is whole. Small figures of wise men, common men, worshippers walk up the stairs to stand at her feet, secret servicemen. terriers stand a row guarding her. It must have taken years to produce this work in all its dizzying detail. The motto, what does it say? Below both women in luminous black letter, après la vie, mort, après la mort, la vie de nous venue. It's probably some French stuff. Don't really understand what that was, but. And then along the left side, après le monde, le gris, après le gris, le monde de nouveau. After life, death. After death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again. This is great leitmotif of humanism. A summary of the effect of the discovery of this isola, the insulia, on human thinking. Tremendous sea change akin to find life after death. Lieutenant, this used to say, after life, death, after death, life again, he nods. After the world, the pale, after the pale, the world again. This exaltation is common in Dolores sacralism. In the early years it was even incorporated as the RCN's slogan. No more, however. Why? It was deemed subservient to use a strongly moral intern-related motto, or always suspected of bootlicking. The sentence was also seen as too feminine. It was a macho thing. What is the RCN's motto now? Justice, union, prudence, and force. I like this, puts the fear of God back in the something. Cool. Ice cool, the lieutenant nods. Okay, step back. The mother of humanism towers above you, a wax painting on a cracked pane of glass. Nothing has changed in her expression. Okay, let's try this other one. 97% success rate here too. Despite the damage you've done to yourself, the title appears lodged in your hippocampus. This is her Innocence Daughter's Day, the innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. Perhaps the most famous human being ever to have lived. No amount of Commodore Red can wipe her sad smile from your brain thing. It has survived the deluge and haunts you still, and will haunt you forever as it haunts all men. Wait, what exactly is an innocence? I've heard of the system. The highest category of historic individual, an embodiment of the world spirit. A ruler. More, an innocence is elected to office by the founding party. A precedent that has taken place a mere 6 times in the entirety of history. The legal system of the real belt is built to accommodate innocent rule, should it coincide with our time. And innocence is infallible. The decisions made by one are not decisions. They are inevitabilities. What would have happened anyway, only accelerated back into decades instead of centuries. And innocence is continuous compressed event, a sacred human being. It is an honor and glory to live when one is in office. Is one in office now? No, we are alone. Okay, when did she rule? 300 years ago, in the wake of discovery of the soul and the Insulindian by explorers from the continent of Mandi. She is, among other things, the innocence of intersolar travel and the connected world. What else do I know about her? Many things. You know, she was a woman of the court, the wife of an influential marquise, and eventually the principal advisor to Irene la Navigateur, Queen of Seresni. Modern day Sir La Clef. Also, she was gorgeous beyond beauty. Okay, what else? Was she smart? Thirdly, women of the court were expected to play both contract bridge and chess sufficiently well to prove an interesting challenge to a man. A similar grasp in matters of philosophy, theology and science was encouraged. She was by all means a kept woman. She made the most of her position in the antediluvian court, a court visited by most prominent thinkers and artists of the day. In secret, she was becoming the era's preeminent philosopher of the state, a scalpel, a piercing gaze. She was almost preternaturally magnetic and intelligent individual. To her contemporaries, she appeared out of time, a messenger from the future of the species. We all fell in love with her, head over heels. Even before she was declared an innocence, her influence was tremendous. How come? It was on her advice that Irene la Navigateur sponsored a number of voyages into the Pale, a costly, often tragic endeavor ultimately vindicated by the discovery of the new world, the piece of reality you're standing on. She was crowned 2 years after the first expedition returned, setting into motion what is widely considered the greatest era in history, the Dolorian era. Wow! Wow indeed! When her innocence was declared, and the queen she had advised for years fell on her knees before her, she was to overcome with emotion that her lungs started glowing in her chest. Bystanders reported golden filaments lighting the already sunlit chamber around her, clearly visible beneath her dress. That is why the lungs are the symbol of love for the culture of the real belt. To hell with this. What more? As did we all, the lands of Mesk and the Occident are even far away supramundi, altogether 20 of the 40 mondial nations of the time. Immediately accepted Innocentic rule, even before her crowning. Her crowning? In a city called Advesperasit in Vesper Messina, her homeland. The name of the city means evening comes, but happened on a winter's morning, with the canals frozen and slush falling out of the sky. She was dressed in a white pearl dress on an emptied out plaza, with the crowd far away. Already the terriers, secret servicemen of the Innocents, were worried about an assassination attempt. I don't care how she looked. I don't care. It doesn't hurt me. She was insultingly beautiful. She was humanity's young mother, a perfect mother. It was as if her face and shoulders and hands were covered in a soft down of under feathers. You know this well, very well. Midwinter snow was beating the cobblestones around her. Small attaché of officials stood by as her terriers placed the white gold wreath on her head. The crowning was mostly witnessed by secret servicemen. Then what? One of the men in his secret service killed her 22 years later. A young man who had come to suspect that Doris Day was not entirely human, but something else. Alien. Something that had walked in our minds, watching us stumble for hundreds, not thousands of years. until it decided to interfere in the course of our history. We were supposed to come up with this ourselves. The man was reported to have screamed at her at the innocence. Dolores Day was shot in the chest with a fowling piece 8 times. The man, thought to be insane, said he once touched her and her body had been unnaturally warm, like a furnace, and that sometimes while on duty he observed her forgetting to breathe for over 10 minutes. Definitely aliens. This inhuman quality was witnessed by many others as well, glowing lungs and all. It is commonly attributed to mass hysteria and religious psychology. Was there something terrifying about her? Terrifying is a term too emotionally charged for your semantic memory, or what remains of it, but although she is often considered to be the greatest human being to ever live, there was something ominous about Dolores Day, constantly surrounded by terriers. She was the most social, secluded, and least self-aware of all the innocences. Some modern thinkers would consider her a war criminal for the campaigns she waged against the Mesk state. And then there were the resettlement programs. What happened? The Mesk state tried to detach itself from Innocentic rule. Parts of the world were experiencing whiplash from accelerating into secularism. Her mandatory education programs and mass resettlement of upstream Magritte were problematic as well. Dissenters were suppressed by a family force she called the Army of Humanity, suggesting those who fight against it are not part of humanity. She adored chess, yes, but also military war games. Dolores Day often holds a tiny tin soldier between her index finger and thumb in icons such as this. She was also blonde, the blondest woman you have ever seen, with green eyes, the color of the Byzantic mare interregnum. Little is known of her Marquis husband. It's as if he vanished from history after completing his role. It was to introduce Dolores Day to court. In conclusion, yes, there is something lonely, paranoid, and even terrifying that people seldom mention, but feel when they think of her. This subtle terror is part of her iconography. Lieutenant Jefreitor, you stood there for 5 minutes. The lieutenant's calm voice echoes in the cold air of the church. What are you thinking of, if I may ask? Holy lungs, that's fucked up. Boy, she's not human. Okay, he takes his glasses off to clean them. Then, after a while, he says, this church, the coast in general, we shouldn't linger here. This isn't a good place to get lost in. We should conclude our business and move on. Okey-dokey. Some heavy thoughts right there. Reaction speed. Hey, her innocent Dolores Day liked little figures, right? Like holding little men between her fingers. Remember? What? You have the headless Faun Rider figurine. You should give it to her. Win her back. What? Look around. Win who back? I can't win her back. She's long dead. Historical figure. I should, yes. This is a task of mine now. Yes, sure. Why not? So very, very, very nifty. Nifty and mysterious. This is surely what the figurines are for. Offer figurines to Dolores. Yeah, obviously it was not a thought, it was a mission. Looks like I can't give this figurine to her. Why not? They told me I have one. Why? Because she's a stained glass window. That does seem to be a problem. Maybe you meant something else? Like what? Is the task still on? I don't know. What are we thinking of? Part of your mind has gone on to other things already. Matter of humans in towers above you, expanding and grappling gas. Okay. Let's try to do something with the machine here. Mainframe. Machine stands in the corner, watched over by the figures on the stained glass window. It's turned on and quivering with soft electricity. A radio computer. Computer, says the lieutenant, stepping closer. It's turned on. He seems cautious around the machine. We should leave. I doubt this place bears any connection to the case. Yes, but what is this strange thing? A radio computer, the lieutenant repeats a little impatiently. We have one down at the station. And before you have time to ask, no, I don't know how to operate it or what it is used for. Let's go. This is the RAM Prefect radio computer. A model number RC7024, equipped with a Feld mainframe and a RAM-compatible interim printer. The RAM Prefect is a governmental version of the commonly used RAM Civic model. Although mostly based on same technology, the RAM Prefect is equipped with better noise attenuation circuits. Wait, let me just investigate. You see, there are some play and print buttons on the keyboard. A hatch connected to the central compartment is wide open. The lieutenant says nothing. You see the machine's glowing frame reflected back from his diamond-shaped glasses. You're free to proceed. Look inside the compartment. Behind the hatch sits a cube-like crisscross of filaments smoldering in the dark like fireflies. Silver tape on the side says in a black marker log Feb-Mar, February to March probably. This is the machine's filament memory. Press play to access its contents. Play. A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. Static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall, until a voice speaks out, crackling a note, cutting into the air. Good afternoon. Fortress accident on St. Brew. This is the East Insulindian repeater station 1. Please repeat. Is this the personal log? This is a human interface. A retired person sitting behind a switchboard somewhere. What's the personal log? The filaments you have inserted into the core. You mean that glowing thing with a tape on it that said log Febmar? I don't know, that's what I'm asking. Is this the personal log? I don't know, maybe. There is size, as a way of static distortion your voice to a robotic sprawl. If you are unsure, could you please take a look? How do I do that? Open the hatch on the compartment, don't touch the wires. Current is running through it, but the core is safe. There's a filament inside, I need you to know what it is called. It just says log Febmar and nothing else. Good, please repeat the password. Let's look around, there's no use trying to guess the answer. Maybe he knows something. The lieutenant nods towards Tiago. Password. I'm really bad at passwords. Can you give me a hint? It's my birthday. This is the police. Please open this thing. No. Just no. A hint system is not part of the protocol for repeater stations. This is the police. Please open this thing. The voice recites, I am contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder Fortress accident. Without filing a warrant with Lintel, not Intel. I think this is a joke. I cannot give you access to this filament. I'm afraid we're not doing that unless we want to wait for a month. Oh, can you please repeat the password? The voice in the machine asks again. She sounds cold in the damp air. I don't know the password. Received. I will register this login attempt. Fortnite, is there anything else I can do for you today? Fortress accident sounds familiar. Company on whose name the terminals you're currently using has been registered. Do you have any other information about this company? One moment, you hear her flip through a catalog before she reads out with a studious care. Fortress Accidents SCA produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says. That's not bad. Whoa, so conceptual. I wouldn't know, I'm only here for passwords. And what's that, this interactive call-on radio play? The static groundsel responds. Any other questions you hear her ask when the connection finally improves? What are you, a machine or are you alive? Yes, I am alive. I am 74 years old and my name is Yvonne. The lieutenant whispers into your ear. She repeats passwords. Programming people are all paranoid. Okay, but where are you? How did you know where I am? I work as a repeater at the East Elysium repeater station. It's my job to know where you are, Fortress accident. As for me, well, some static. Then I am sitting in my cubicle surrounded by a wall of radios. Now please tell me if there's anything else I can do for you, Fortress accident. Well, that's not true. Let's... Thanks, but I'm finished with this call. Press off silent. Goodbye, Fortress accident, she says as her voice disappeared into a whirl of static. The machine's keyboard is still illuminated with play and print buttons. Leave. Okay, it auto saves, but let's do a manual save. Let's try again. Press play again. Speaking of last day, the machine's playing make drive and no leg reads you. Sounds like 100 years old. Good afternoon, Fortress accident on St. Brew. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please report. Please repeat. This is the personal log. Let's try this again. I think I may have the right password. But maybe I need to try my birthday. Good. Please repeat the password. Let's look around. There's no use trying to guess the answer. Maybe we could guess. Maybe he knows something. The lieutenant nods towards Tiago. Is it my birthday? Still no. I don't know the password. Okay, so we can do the press print. See what happens then. Nothing happens. Okay, so we're pretty much done there then. do much else inside the church. Let's go outside. Maybe we can talk to this guy.
Oh, hey, wait. There's coffee in the back. Oh, wait. I meant the mother's love.
Coffee in the back. Something familiar about that. Coffee and stale cookies. Have you by any chance heard Villejita say the password to a radio computer? Too many times they say. You need it for something. Sure do. Surveys are a good way to fish for personal information, especially in the name of public safety. I'm doing a survey of passwords and passcodes, identifying regional trends in the interests of public safety, of course. Sounds good. Just tell me what the password is. Yes, it's for a first-degree murder investigation, Martinez. Veteran raises his eyebrow but doesn't say anything. Don't sweat it. Wait, so the password is afterlife death. Seems simple enough. What do you think of that? Makes me almost pity La Nihilista Pequena when I hear it. What was that about coffee? I feel like I've heard it somewhere before. Look, man, I'm at liberty to talk about the scared blaze of the mother's glorious heart, but not about the coffee. Okay. Seems logical. Okay, then, thanks. We're done here, Izzy. The figure crawls into the darkness above. That was an interesting conversation. However, I'm still not sure how it's relevant to our investigation. It's going to be somehow. Afterlife death. Good, I've unlocked the filament. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament. Fortress accident, is there anything else I can do for you today? No. Goodbye, Fortress accident, she says as her voice disappeared into a whirl of static. Now we press print. The printer prints out a long text document with dated paragraphs. It looks a bit like someone's journal. Read the printout. The first entry, made on the 4th February 52 by an unknown author, is short and concise. Arrived at the church. The door was boarded up, so I used a crowbar to get inside. Looks like the place has been deserted. Nothing out of the ordinary, but I'll ask around. Need to figure out how to get the electricity in. The lieutenant leans closer, scouring the printout over her shoulder. Just as you finish reading, he looks up, muttering under his breath. 4th of February. That's over a month ago. Whoever set up those machines has been here for quite a while. Do you think this log might be connected to the case? Our case? No, I don't think so. It must be some local. His eyes wandered to the various machines around him. Eccentric. Read the second entry. 6th of February 52. Had a little chat with the local fisherman. Said I shouldn't go near that place. That the church was spooky and ridden with narcotics. It's a little spooky, alright. Still haven't figured out the electricity. Read the third entry. 7th of February 52. Finally got the electricity in. Next on the agenda, a new antenna. I'm thinking Esker series, something advanced. Why would she need an antenna? Why would anyone need any of this equipment here? He steps on a wire running on the ground, inspecting it with his boot. Read the 4th entry. 8th of February 52. Bought the antenna, had some problems setting it up. Called Simo for help. Heard the others are back to making art. Drinking somewhere out of town. Sulislav started a rock band again. Lexi has been seen asking money from strangers. But at least the artists have their act together. They're qualified labor. They can get work anywhere. Graphic design, ads, programmers have been fine too. I mean, they're programmers. Writers, though, they're fucked. I just have to find out what caused the data loss and be done with it. Still don't understand how it managed to wipe out the backup when the backup wasn't even connected to the front. I know, everything thinks it's impossible. Everyone thinks it's impossible. They say I must be lying. I'm here to set it right. Data loss seemed like something to do with radio computers. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about them to understand. Enough about them to understand what the author is saying. Something about the backup data getting destroyed. Now everyone thought it was the author's fault. He adjusted glasses. Let's just keep reading. Artists, programmers, Lexi, who are all those people? Her friends, colleagues, he shrugs. She must be quite educated if she knew how to set up all this machinery. With the 5th entry. 12th February 52. Brought some food from the grocery store. Apparently there's a strike going on in the harbor. Definitely not happy to see the Martinez people again. Everything now set up in the church. Going to start working tomorrow 8 a.m. Strike. He strokes his chin. We're nearing the date of the murder. Keep reading. I'm interested now. I want to know what the radio's anomaly that sent this person here in the first place. Plot thickens. Read the 6th entry. 25th February 52. I've been sending data up to the Intel for a while now, trying to recreate the data loss, but nothing. Didn't even feel like logging in the disappointment. But I did discover a curious audio-spatial anomaly at the back of the church. I named it the swallow. It swallows sound. Need to get some mics. Is he talking about that looks this right, the word silence. With the 7th entry. 28th February 52. Yes, the first recordings confirm that the swallow is real and not just losing my mind. It's a pillar of silence with a diameter of approximately 3 meters. Seems like the higher I go, the less I record. This might be a coincidence, or it could be connected to the data loss that led me here. The pillar of silence. She's talking about the silence. Is he suggesting it's more than just an architectural quirk? But what would it be? Look at the water basins behind you. The lieutenant doesn't answer. He follows her gaze, studying the basins. The water shines in them, no ripples. Read the 8th entry. March 52. Some kind of young disco men have appeared next to the church. I've been trying to record the silence to find the epicenter, but now it turns out I've also been capturing the future of dance music. One neo-disco song over and over again. Fortunately, the song is so monotonous, I was able to devise an algorithm to factor it out. The other day, one of the disco men came in. Before I could even say hello, she got scared and left. Good, I don't want anyone distracting me from my work. That disco man must be a cell. She must be describing a cell. The girl on the ice sounds like her, yes. Read the 9th entry. A new 2M aux cable, noodles, crackers, ping energy drinks, water, toothpaste, gum, also some canned air. Oh yeah, canned air. Canned light should be even better. Your reading is interrupted by the sound of the church door opening. Strange woman makes straight for the radio computer. Here comes the programmer, I think.
Breaking into my radio computer, I see.
She glares at you as she holds down the off button for several seconds. The machine reboots. Yes, you are breaking in, but not into her radio computer. You're a master circuit bender.
I do apologize for the intrusion, madame. We are with the RCM, you see.
I can assure you I'm an expert circuit bender. I'm not breaking into your computer, I'm using it to access coalition military data links.
There are no coalition military data links. And even if there was, you couldn't access them over a civilian network.
Yes, I could. I'm a cybernetic god. I'm using a RAM prefect to commandeer the coalition warship Archer. I will turn its Katniss against its masters. Some Terminator stuff right here.
That's nonsense. You're just a police officer. Now, please give me some room. I need 2 seconds to see that you haven't destroyed anything.
I think we destroyed it.
We should talk to her after she has rebooted the machine.
Okay. Let's first say. And I'm gonna end this session here. So I'll see you guys later.